and welcome to B-Movie Euphoria, here for a very special episode. I would like to call it B-Movies with Mom. My name's Nick Valere. This is my mother, Anna Maria Valere. First, I wanted to say, what's your relation with movies? What are your favorite films?
Well, I have one in particular that I always come back to, and it probably could be considered a B movie as well, but it's called Milagro Beanfield War.
Ooh.
Robert Redford's The Milagro Beanfield War.
The scorpions will make nests in your shoes if you leave them there. And be sure not to lean too far back on the seat in the outhouse, or let your testicles swing up under the wood. Black widows.
We watched the 1955 Edward D. Wood Jr. classic, Bride of the Monster. This is the third film from director Ed Wood, who, if you don't know who Ed Wood is, start looking into Ed Wood because he's one of the most interesting bad movie directors of all time. And he used to be the worst movie director of all time. But now I think people are more appreciative of the nuances of the badness.
Yeah.
I think this was the first film he made with Tor Johnson. And this was during a time when, Bela Lugosi is also in this movie. I forgot. Bela Lugosi. So Bela, at least according to Bela does a lot of this in the movie. A lot of, you will sleep. You will sleep. The movie starts off with two hunters in fedoras, which I guess that's kind of what they wore back then. But they're hunting out in the swamp.
I'm not quite sure what you would hunt.
In the
alligators.
Swamp. Yeah, so they're hunting alligators in the swamp, and they get lost because it's raining. It is constantly throughout this movie, it's raining, thunderstorming, or just windy and dark. It's raining terribly, and then they're like, oh, look, there's that house that's been abandoned for 10 years. Let's go there. That's a good idea. They start, banging on the door, and Bela Lugosi opens the door, and he's like, what do you want? Stay away. And they're like, hey, it's raining out here. Can we come in? And he's like, nah. I think that's when Tor comes out. Mm-hmm. I think, because he just goes, rah! He does a lot of this. This is basically what Tor Johnson...
Or this.
Bela Lugosi is living in this house that everybody thinks is abandoned, and he's doing some experiments, and Tor Johnson is playing Lobo, who is his kind of assistant, his second in command, and he doesn't treat him very well. The hunters get captured, and one of them is taken to like an experimental table, and a thing is strapped to his head that looks like a colander with a light bulb on. Bela does some stuff to like a lighting board and like turns some cranks. And the whole time, Bela is ecstatic throughout this movie. He is so happy that all this is happening. And he's just like, yeah, oh, yeah.
What are you doing to me? You will be soon as big as a giant. The strength of 20 men.
Or, like all the others, dead.
And he's trying to create a superhuman race. Kind of reminds you of some other episode in human history.
Yeah.
And then he feeds him to the creature.
To the beast. He's trying to create super beings, but he also has a creature in an underwater lab thing that's an octopus. It's mostly depicted as a non-moving octopus prop, where the arms are just kind of doing this, and then the victims
actually kind of fall back into him, even though they're not being pushed or anything.
There aren't really, you're not really afraid for their lives. You're kind of more like, man, this must have been a hard day for them. And then we go back to, I think it's the police station, and we meet our police chief, who... So our police chief, he's one of the best characters in the movie, I think, because he's perpetually, like, throughout the day, he's just doing funny things with his pet bird.
Yes.
I told the boy to bring the papers in himself.
Yes, sir. But if you ask me...
I didn't.
Yes, sir.
And Kelton,
Yes, sir.
where's Lieutenant Craig?
In his office, I think.
Send him in.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Dick Craig comes into his office and is like, starts talking about another disappearance of these two hunters, and people are disappearing all over this place, and we gotta figure out what's going on. And the chief is just kind of like, oh, well, that girlfriend of yours. And he's not too happy that Dick Craig's girlfriend, who is a reporter, by the way, has been saying in the newspaper that it's because of a monster.
But we deal in fact and fiction.
Yeah, that's what he keeps saying.
Fact and fiction, no.
Wait. While they're talking, and this might have been a mashup of several scenes, but it's all coming together in my head. But while they're talking, Dick Craig's girlfriend comes in, and wow, she's a firecracker.
Ooh, yeah, she's perky.
Wow.
All over perky.
Yeah, that's something that you notice, that a lot of the female characters in this film, their breasts are just pointing straight out. Just like, they are sharp. Those are sharp bras. Like, I kind of want to ask Nana if she ever wore one of those.
I bet she did.
I'm telling you, the captain isn't seeing nobody. Now, please be a good girl, Miss Lawton, and go.
Captain Robbins, will you tell this Junior G man to let me go?
Kelton,
Yes, sir.
let her go.
She comes in and she's just sassing about. She's coming in and she's just like, well, you heard about this monster, right? I'm going to go check it out. And then the chief is just like, well, I don't know about this monster business.
And then she wants to, on the spot, break up with her Dick dude.
Yeah, because Dick is like, I wish you wouldn't say that monster thing so much. She immediately goes, well, I guess our engagement's off. They kind of give her some information or something, and then she's like, well, I guess I'll still marry you. Whatever. And then she takes off. So she leaves. The chief and the lieutenant are like, we gotta figure this out. She goes straight to the records room, where there's just, it's the records room because it's just a room filled with file cabinets. And there's a woman there cutting out coupons, I think, for the
I don't know
whole...
what the hell she's cutting. She's always cutting, though.
She's cutting something, and I guess maybe she's cutting up the newspaper, because the records room is just file cabinets filled with old newspapers. That's all it is. She goes in there trying to find out who bought this abandoned house that's kind of in the middle of where people are disappearing. She finds something in the paper. She finds out who bought the house. Ooh, it was Bela Lugosi. We get some stuff with Bela and Tor, and you see him just kind of gazing lovingly at the octopus at one point. It seems like all that really happens is that Bela just kind of stares at his octopus and whips Tor, I imagine. Just whips. He's whipping Tor a lot in this movie. And it looks painful. And you feel
He's really whipping it.
It really is. It's a thick whip, so maybe it's not as bad as a regular sized whip. He's not liking this, but he's dealing with it for the time being. So first we get the reporter, and she heads out, and she's looking around, and immediately her car just like drives into a ditch. But then thankfully, Tor shows up. And he just, grabs the snake and just tosses it away. But before he picks her up, he sees this like very soft Angora hat, and he takes it off her head, and he's just touching it. He's like, "Oh." She wakes up, and Bela Lugosi is like, "We saved your life from the swamp." And she's very not trusting of anything, but he seems like a nice old guy. And then he hypnotizes her to sleep with his hands somehow.
And we get to look deeply into Bela Lugosi's
Oh,
eyes
yes.
several times.
I do feel very tired.
Yeah.
I liked all the scenes with Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
I thought he did a great job. At one point, he turns into another person, which is pretty miraculous for this film. The chief goes to the records room again. There's another great exchange with the lady that's cutting newspapers in the records room. They all come to the house, and the house is interesting. This house is a little flimsy, because we see like far away shots of it, and it looks like a creepy old house. But then the closer shots are it's a door, and then once we get inside, it's kind of a series of sets that they wobble a little bit. There's some
Especially with Tor.
Yeah.
Remaining on the
So the police are looking around. They're trying to find. They can't find the secret door, which is pretty cool. One of the cooler things in this movie is the secret passageway through the fireplace. And then we're treated to a fight between Dick and Tor, which Tor used to be a professional wrestler, so he just tosses people around like they are nothing. There is a definite heart and art to the film.
Yeah.
Because there's humor going on, there's like there's beauty, I don't know.
There's points in which you feel like this is reality.
Yeah.
I mean, these things really happen. It's not Hollywood, You can connect with some of these guys. Yeah, I like it. I feel like it's something that I missed as far as my Ed Wood experiences. So I'm glad I saw it. I think that anything with Bela Lugosi is great to watch.
That's true.
And I think because of the time period, it has, to me, it's kind of a good message that we were and still are kind of tampering in God's domain.
Yeah, because
Scary stuff.
even back then they were like, yeah, I don't know, should we be messing with the atom? Mm-hmm. The answer is yes. I really enjoyed it. And so I would say, as far as B-movies with Mom, this was a success. Great movie. Thank you, Mom, for coming. I am Nick. This is Anna Maria, my mom. And thank you for watching.
Adios.
Adios.